Today I am reading Mt.BigFoot 2, but this time it's going to be different from Mt.BigFoot 1. This time you can actually read along. So, yeah. Let's start Mt.BigFoot 2, Cabin in the Woods. On a mountain in the U.S. state of Oregon lies a small two-story cozy cabin built by James Cutburn, a man who takes care of his grandson there on weekends. April 6th, 2023, Boring, Oregon City Hospital. 27-year-old Henry Cutburn, grandson of James Cutburn, walked through the sad white hallway of the city hospital to spend time with his grandfather during his final moments. James has been fighting pancreatic cancer for over a year, and the cancer is winning and is about to end the life of James. "Grandpa, may I come in?" said Henry, tearing up as he watches his grandpa die. "Yes, dear, you may," said James, lying weakly on his hospital bed. "Henry, I have to tell you something. It's about my will." "What is it, Grandpa? What about your will?" "Well, you see, remember the cabin we stayed at on the weekends?" "Yes, Grandpa, I remember. That place was a big part of my childhood." "Yeah, well, in my will, I am leaving you with my cabin, so that way you will always have something to remember me by." "The cabin? You are leaving me with the cabin?" "Yes, and I know how high your rent is at the apartment. But at my cabin, you don't have to worry about rent. All you'll have to worry about is the what? Come on, Grandpa, answer." "No, no, no. Don't die on me, Grandpa," Henry said, sobbing as he watched his grandfather die in the middle of a sentence. The doctor sent James to the morgue and then escorted Henry out of the hospital room. After the funeral, James' lawyer read the will. Henry's parents knew they weren't going to get anything but his books, he wrote, because they highly disliked each other. At the apartment, Henry's girlfriend, Maria, asked, "What does the cabin look like?" Henry replied with a simple, "It's a small two-story cozy cabin." They finished packing everything into Maria's SUV. Henry's van was already at the cabin and started a 6-hour drive from Crescent, California to Boring, Oregon. When they arrived at the cabin, there was something wrong. James's rose and blueberry bush were trampled, like something stepped on them. Anyways, the two entered the cabin and started unpacking. When they finished unpacking, they settled down. Henry connected the DVD player to the TV and put on Jurassic Park, both of their favorite movies. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh. When the movie started, Maria's ears were all funky, and she asked Henry about it. And he replied with, "We're in a cabin that is on a mountain. The elevation is causing funky ear problem." When they got to the T-Rex escape scene in the movie, they heard a dark roar, like a gorilla or a bear. "You heard that, right, Henry?" Maria said, frightened. "Maria, it is probably the T-Rex roaring, because it just escaped in the movie. Look!" "Yeah, but the roar didn't sound like the T-Rex's roar. The roar I heard was deep, like a gorilla's. But the T-Rex's roar in the movie is more high-pitched," said Maria. "Well, now that you speak of it, I did hear the roar too. Now I am wondering if the roar belongs to the same creature that trampled Grandpa's bush," said Henry, frightened. They paused the movie and listened closely. They heard footsteps outside and twigs snapping, like there was a wild man outside. Henry looked out and saw nothing. That confused him, because both him and Maria heard something outside. But there was nothing out there. Frightened by the sounds, the two decided to go to bed, to forget what had happened. The next day, Henry headed down to the mountain and towards Walmart. The reason why is to go to the hunting gal and buy some trail cameras to see what is causing the disturbance back at the cabin. When Henry arrived home, he instantly set up the trail cameras all around the property. When he went inside the cabin, Maria was waiting for him with a journal. I found this under the bed, said Maria. That's Grandpa's journal. Maybe it can explain what is going on, Henry replied. The two flipped through the journal page after page and until they got to this. Day 333. I just woke up from a roar outside and looked out the window, and what I saw horrified me. I saw a 10-foot tall, ape-like creature in my front yard, said Henry as he read the page. What does this mean? Grandpa saw a 10-foot tall creature outside that he described as ape-like, said Henry, confused by what he just read. Wait, your grandpa might be talking about Bigfoot, Maria replied. Bigfoot? No way. He's just a myth. A cryptid. Look, Bigfoot is real. I read a memoir by Joshua Berman, and in that memoir it says he heard a roar with his best friend Jake Potter, who just woke up from a coma recently, because 9 years ago when the story took place, Jake fell into a coma from an allergic reaction. But it says after they heard the roar, they saw a tall ape-like creature outside through their trail camera, Maria said, informing Henry. Really? That is a memoir? Or are you making it up? Said Henry. I'm not making it up. It is a real memoir, replied Maria. Okay, then what is the title of the memoir? The title is My Encounter with a Yeti. And yes, while we are arguing about a memoir, that is about Yeti and not Bigfoot. Two are both Sasquatches. And just looked up the memoir, Maria. And what you described is real. Wait, where does the memoir take place? The memoir takes place in the Stoney Nakoda Nation, Canada, replied Maria. Correct. Wow, you are making me a believer in Bigfoot. Do you have the memoir? Because it says here that it has Joshua's phone number. Maybe we can call him. Good idea, Henry. And yes, I have the memoir. It is in my purse right now. Pull out your phone and dial 735-553-2679. Got it. Now, let's wait for him to pick it up. Hello. Look, this better not be fans trying to see my face, said Joshua. Hi, Joshua. No, we are not looking at your face. We want to ask you a very important question, replied Maria through the phone. What kind of question do you want to ask me? So, me and my boyfriend Henry just inherited a cozy cabin from Henry's grandfather, and we have been hearing deep, loud roars, footsteps outside, and Henry's grandfather's journal says that he saw a 10-foot tall, ape-like creature outside in the front yard. Listen carefully. That is a Sasquatch that you are dealing with. So stay indoors. Don't try to kill it. Only leave the cabin during the day. I am telling you this for your survival. But I gotta get off here. My son is sick with the flu, and I gotta take care of him while his mother is on a business trip. Bye, said Joshua. The two looked at Joshua's advice carefully and walked the doors and stayed inside. After that, they cut off the lights and headed to bed. At 3 a.m. in the morning, Maria woke up from a crash downstairs. She woke Henry, and the two went downstairs to see what the commotion was. And that's when they saw it. A small boulder was in the middle of the floor, and a Sasquatch outside the broken window. Get to the car, Maria yelled. Henry unblocked the door and saw that there was a massive branch through the car. Run! Yelled Henry. When running, Maria tripped on a rock and fell down on her belly. Henry looked back and saw the horror that was happening right in front of him. The Sasquatch walked up behind Maria and picked her up and took her away as she screamed into the abyss. Henry ran to the police station and told them everything that happened, but they didn't believe him and thought he was the one that kidnapped Maria and arrested him right there in the station. The court case has been happening for 2 years now because the police could never find Maria. That was Mt.BigFoot 2. Hope you like and subscribe. That bell for more notifications. Mt.BigFoot 3, Final Peak, will be coming soon. Adios, amigos.